Welcome to Garage Groove. Welcome to the shop. Hello everybody, welcome to this new episode of Garage Groove. So last episode we put the finishing touches on the TL1000R. Now we did a couple things after that episode. Let's take a quick look at that. So there is the TL in all its glory, but now you can see that there's decals added. I added the Suzuki at the bottom. We got a nice Supreme sticker, Dunlop. We got some graphics here in the back. Very nice, right? But that's a finished project. Okay, we do have a review left on this bike that we want to try to squeeze in before the season comes to an end. It was a fast season. You see that? All the graphics and everything. This bike is complete. Now I have put on almost 200 miles on that bike, and it runs absolutely fantastic. It is such a fun bike, such a powerful bike, and I want to take you for a ride on that. So we're going to try to squeeze that in here in the next episode, okay? But I wanted to take some time to update everybody on everything. As you can see, my shoulder, I got my arm back up. So that's coming along real good, and that's helped a lot. In fact, it's helped so much that the Harley-Davidson is fixed. I was able to put that transmission back in. Now, the story with the Harley-Davidson is, you know, this was the only bike in my whole life that I bought from a dealership. And about 500 miles into this bike, the transmission started making a whining and a singing sound, you know, and ultimately it got louder and louder. I think the last 10-12 miles, and I decided that the best thing to do is to pull the transmission out. Now, I've never worked on a Harley because obviously this is the first Harley that I've had. Now I did build, there was an iron head that I built the motor to, but this is different because this has got a separate transmission in it. The iron head was all in one, right? So what I did with this is a 5-speed and it was a 6-speed. So the 6-speed is at a local shop, and I'm gonna let them handle that. In the meantime, I picked up this used 5-speed Harley-Davidson transmission, and it had a little bit of issue with it, and I fixed that, and we've installed it, and I've put, I want to say I've got probably about 70 miles on this bike also. The other thing I did here, I changed the handlebars, as you can see. The other ones were a little low for me, but I like the height on that now. It's perfect. Sits really nice. I got about, like I said, I got about 70-80 miles on the new transmission. It runs really good. And then we have some stuff lined up for this bike. And that's the other thing we want to discuss on this episode. Let's talk about some stuff here. Let's reflect here for a second. So where were we this time last year? Now, if I remember right, last year, you know, around this time, late September, early October, we were into talking about all the different projects that we were going to do over the winter. And we did most, I want to say we did most of them. We did Faison's bike, we did some other XR80, we did the RM80, we did Sophian's bike, we fixed the Yamazuki. We did all sorts of stuff during the last winter. What are we going to do this winter? Well, it's going to be a little different this winter because mainly, you know, the kids grow out of stuff and they're content. They have their bikes. I don't have nothing to build for them per se. Okay, there is a couple little things that we may get into. They're absolutely very happy with the bikes that they have, but they haven't been riding them that much, and they are not at all interested in selling them. I asked them if they're not planning on riding them, should we sell them? And I kind of did that just to see where they were at mentally, you know, were they completely out of it? And they both absolutely adamant about selling them. Refused, do not touch our bikes. So that's good. That's what we want here. So they've kind of moved out of it for a little bit. They'll come back to it. So we're going to leave those guys alone. We're not going to do any new projects for them this season, but they are happy with their bikes. Now, the Harley. We have some stuff in mind for the Harley. The Harley, what we want to do is first we want to get that 6-speed back in there, and then I got this transmission fairly cheap because it had some issues with it, and I fixed it. And we're going to put the 6-speed back in, and we're going to sell this one for a profit. And I know these go quick, so it's not going to be a problem. I got about $400 into that transmission. I should easily be able to get about $800 for it, so that's good, right? I had to do some work to it. Now, unfortunately, with everything going on with the work and everything, although I think things are going to slow down now. The summer season's over, and we generally slow down at work. That's part of the reason I'm able to do more work here. But in any case, I did that off camera. You know, I had the transmission, it came in, I had an afternoon, and my arm was feeling good, my shoulder was feeling decent, so I got it in there. I fixed it up first, and then I put it in there, and I just never bothered to turn the camera on. I apologize for that, but that would have been a nice little episode. But in any case, the Harley's really done for now, but we want to do some other stuff to it. Mainly, I'd like to paint the frame. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get to that, but the thing I don't like about this bike, as I'm finding, are these forks. I think they're a little too long, you know, and riding it, I can feel it. I'd like to have a little bit of shorter forks on it, so we may do that. I'm not positive. That could be a project. I was thinking about going with the Springer front end. Springer front ends are really cool, and it's going to drop that front end down, and it's going to give it more of a bobber stance. You see how it looks more like a chopper? Well, it feels like a chopper too, and I'm not really crazy about that. I like the bobber, like the Vulcan. So we're going to do a little bit of work to that. The other work we want to do is the GSXR 1100. Now, one thing I didn't talk too much about was, you know, that bike started smoking because I whipped it pretty hard way too early. I built it, and if anybody should know better, it should be me. How are you supposed to treat an engine when you first build it? I should be the one who know that, and I failed in my task there. So I was a little hard on that bike. The power was just too much for me to you know, not abuse, and I was abusing it. I was whipping on the bike, and it did start smoking. So we're gonna do some work to that, hopefully, and then we may squeeze in another motor project during the winter. So we're gonna have some time this winter. What else are we gonna do? Well, you know, this has been a 2-part channel where the 1 parts have been silent. The music parts have been silent. So we want to do some stuff with the music too, and I'll explain that as we go. But it's mainly creating songs, right? So I have some ideas. I'll introduce you to the studio. So we want to do that. Now, the other reason we're not going to be doing a whole lot of projects is I got a lot that I need to sell. We built some projects. I have had some bikes. I got plenty of bikes on for sale right now. In fact, me and Faison, we took a ride to our facility where we got a lot of these bikes. You know, it was a nice day out, and I sold a bike out of there that evening. But I had a gentleman coming to take a look at some of these bikes that I had. He ended up buying one of them. But we have plenty of dirt bikes. Let's take a look at the fleet that we have. We'll see you in a second. Here's the dirt bike collection, and we're missing two of them. We're missing our 85 KTM 250 MX, and we're missing our 87 510 cross country. Those are at another place. I have them stored. Let's take a look at these. We're going to do a flyby on these. Got a gentleman coming. Look at this beautiful Yamazuki, man. That's a custom Frankenstein 500cc 4-stroke. Right behind Yamaha TT600 600cc 4-stroke. Right behind that KTM LC4 600. That's another 600 liquid cooled 4-stroke. Now we got the killers. 82 YZ490.
That's a beast.
That's a Widowmaker. Here's the other one, probably the nastiest bike in my collection, the 83 CR480. This thing is fresh, pristine,
83.
Restored. Here's a rare one.
Air cooled.
Yeah, the Honda's the air cooled. This is a liquid cooled 500.
Look at the pipe it has. What is that called? The pipe?
That's a EXC, I believe, 500. It is not a MX. It is a 5-speed, not a 4-speed.
Yeah, it's a 5-speed EXC.
EXC.
So we have some questions on it, but
Yeah,
that'd be
maybe
cool.
it's a works bike. I don't know, man.
Works bikes did end in 1980.
So that is our fleet of dirt bikes. Now every one of those is for sale except for the Yamazuki. The Yamazuki, unfortunately, it's just it's a Frankenstein, and it doesn't carry that much value, but it's a good value here. You know, I've built that bike and it runs great, so we'll just keep that for our own use. All the other bikes are for sale. Now there's two there that are not even shown. So that's the Husqvarna 500 and the KTM 250. Those are for sale. We may end up pulling one of those bikes in here. I'm thinking the Husqvarna, we may restore that. We have the KTM we can restore. So there's a few projects here and there, but it's going to be nothing like last year. You know, last year we did a lot of work in here. So it's still going to leave us time. Even if we restore the Husqvarna, even if we restore the KTM, even if we do work to this Harley, we do a little bit of work on the GSXR, we're still going to have time. You know, winter here lasts several months, you know, so we're going to be able to do some music this year. And I will show you where we are with all of that, because I did take the time to create a studio. I built it. I even built it on camera, but I just never shared that with you. But I think it's time now to share it with you. Let's take a look at our studio really quick, and I'll show you how it was put together. See you in a minute. So this winter, Garage Groove is going underground. We are in the basement here, and here is our working studio. This is a part of the channel that has not been shown. You know, we have a really nice preliminary cuts are done in here. We would not record our final cuts here. We would go to a more professional studio to do that. But we have enough here to produce good ideas, and that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to create a really nice set of songs, and we're going to put some really nice videos together for you, at least one or two of them. You know, we'll have several songs, but the best ones we can put videos to those. So this is going to be Garage Groove Underground where we're going to produce songs, which we're going to take the theme from zero to Vivo. Okay, we're going to be working on these. Now, songs are a little different than motorcycles. You know, you're dependent on a lot more people here in this music industry. You know, there's producers and there's engineers and there's other musicians and a lot of stuff involved. Okay, so it's gonna be quite the production. But what's interesting is I want to take you on a journey of a song, a birth of a really awesome tune. Okay, so we want to do that, and hopefully you guys love it. Hopefully you guys love it, and hopefully you guys make it big, make it huge. Okay, so let's start by showing you the studio came together, not, you know, on the channel as much, but I'm going to show it to you now how the studio was put together. So let's take a look at that. So that's our studio, as you can see, and you even saw how that was put together, right? So that is a nice working facility. It's not where you would get preliminary, well, it would be where you get preliminary cuts. You're not going to get final products from there, okay? We could, but I'm just not a good enough producer and all of that. I'm none of that stuff. All I am is a musician, and I can write songs. So we'll do that, and we want to create some of that. So there you have it. That, in a nutshell, is going to be our very, very vague roadmap of where we're going this winter. We're going to do some work to the Harley, probably do a little bit of work to the GSXR. Although the GSXR is still rideable, I can still ride it. I can probably still get, I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's smoking like it is, you know, and I know exactly what I did and, you know, what I shouldn't have done and all of that, but I could still easily ride it. I can probably get several seasons out of it, but it just bothers me. So we may end up pulling that bike in here and do some work to that, but we'll probably end up doing something with the Harley, change the looks on it, change the stance on it a little bit, and possibly a couple of the dirt bikes. we will do. But you're going to see more, and we've talked about this. We're going to try to blend the music in a little bit more this winter. So that's our roadmap, okay? We will see you soon working. And as you will see, my work is going to start slowing down, and I'm going to be spending more time doing this sort of stuff. Summer gets busy, you know, and last summer I had a chance to do a few more things, and not that I had the chance, but I made time, you know, because the kids had the interest, so I made time. This year was different, you know, the kids kind of spent more time with their friends and doing baseball and all of that stuff, so there was no sense of me taking off work, you know, if they were not interested, which is okay, you know, that's okay. They want to keep their bikes, and that's a good sign. So that's our rough roadmap to where we are going this winter, and we hope to see you soon. Please stay with us. Please subscribe. Please like and continue this journey with us. You know, you're part of us. You're part of our lives, and you get to see what we, you know, what we go through. So whether we're working in the garage or we're working elsewhere, you know, you know there are things going on. When you don't see the videos popping up, you're kind of with us there too, you know, because you know we're busy with stuff, and as the videos start getting more frequent, you know, we're doing this. So just stay with us, and we hope to see you on the channel more and more. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Take care.